So hello everyone, welcome here to St. Eustache in Quebec, Canada for round 4 of the 2013 NASA RallyCross Challenge season. As we wrote earlier on the ASN website, can anyone defeat Josh Mertz here at his essentially one of his home tracks? It's been undefeated for the 3 seasons that the NASA RallyCross Challenge has run here, and it's including that 1-2 finish for Citroën in 2012C, excuse me. Josh Mertz bringing you the commentary feed, as always, for the Automotive Sports Network as ASN social media, but we're going to get started really quickly here. Facebook.com/Automotive Sports Network. We post everything on there, news, notes, broadcasts, pretty much anything. Our Twitter page is twitter.com/ASNTV_USA. We have everything. We have our ASN On Demand page and our Twitch page linked up to that Twitter page, and we'll post links to the stories that we have on our Twitter page, so follow us on Twitter at ASNTV_USA. You can join the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and even Google Plus if you'd like, using the hashtag ASNTVUSA. We really encourage it. ASN On Demand is youtube.com/ASNTVUSA. ASN Live is twitch.tv/ASNTVUSA. Our website, which is just fantastic looking, asntv.us. Kudos to Victor Valley. And if you have any broadcast inquiries, comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, you can email us at any time at asntvUSA@gmail.com. This broadcast was brought to you by Java Shot Designs. If you need any painting done for any of your racing interests, you can contact Adam Sweet at his page at facebook.com/Java Shot Designs. So, before I get into the rally format, let's take a lot on board here at St. Eustache. St. Eustache here in Canada for the first of 2 rounds for the 2013 NASA RallyCross Challenge season north of the border. Here's your onboard lap. Turn 1 and 2, the quick chicane. Here you want to clobber all of the curb you can because that is the quick way. It's a quick left-right chicane. If you don't get it right, you might spit off to the left. Dirt mound here, and then into the second part of the dirt. Double apex, you want to drift it around. Hit your right rear on that yellow curb. It'll twitch the car around. And the water, no, it sends you a little bit farther down, and you want to get through there clean to set yourself up for this big jump. You want to dab the brakes right before you hit it, because otherwise you'll go flying through the air. There you go. On the left is long cut. We skip it. You go straight. Here is the oval part. Variable degree of banking. You want to drift the car. Shift gears to get the car to turn. Remember, no handbrake. Get the car to slide, slide, slide off the final corner. And that was an onboard lap of St. Eustache, as that was actually one of the fastest laps recorded here at St. Eustache. I believe it was a 45.0. As it doesn't look like our format graphic has updated, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to slap a creative producer for that. Anywho, it's a 13-car field today, but it's pretty much the same. It's only a couple numbers changed. 13-car field. We're going to have 3 heats with 4 laps apiece. Top 2 in each heat will advance to the final, and the others move to the LCQ. You have to take the long cut. This graphic is horribly outdated. Oh, well, we'll just go with it because I don't want to restart this whole thing. You have to take the long cut once. The last chance qualifier is 3 laps. The top 2 of that race advance to the final. The rest are awarded points, and you have to take the long cut once. And the final will be 8 drivers for 8 laps, and you have to take the long cut twice. Now then, let's get that horrible graphic out of the way, and let's get some racing in, shall we? Here is the lineup for heat number 1 of 3. We have Dylan Livingood, the winner of the last 2 races, in car number 1. Then it's Eric Webler, Brandon Lambert, and Cody Erdman. Erdman making his 2nd start of the season after his goof, you could say, at Valkenswaard. Everyone getting lined up and ready to go. It was announced right before this race that Tanner Smith will be signed to the Volkswagen Rally team, so that privateer effort will be forfeited, and they will finish up the Semi-Works Championship, which is in hand by Brandon Lambert by about 30 points. They have that in the bag, essentially, with Tanner Smith joining for round 5 as we're revving them up for Heat 1 at St. Eustache. Here we go. It's lights out. Away we go. And off the line, Livingood gets a normal of blast start as Lambert in 2nd, as Erdman close behind here as we enter the dirt for the first time. This is one of the trickiest parts of the circuit as Lambert tries the inside. He couldn't make anything, and this is an important section. We'll monitor it all race long. You have to get all 4 tires in that water. Otherwise, you have to take a visit to the penalty box, and the penalty box is right to the right there. Right past, you see that little indent there? That is the penalty box. As to the long cut goes Livingood in car number 1, so he gets his first long cut out of the way. And it's going to be Lambert leading on the road. So at the end of lap 1, Brandon Lambert is your leader, followed by Erdman, followed by Webler, followed by Livingood. And it doesn't look like Livingood's very happy with the 49, as Livingood took his long cut, and the 49 is holding him up. And contact, we missed it, with Brandon Lambert and Cody Erdman. And now contact with Webler and Livingood. So this changes everything, as I do believe, getting reports that Lambert slid. He did that in the first season. He slid, and Erdman had nowhere to go. We'll try and get a replay later on. As Livingood, Lambert, and Webler trying to catch Cody Erdman for the Citroën team, as sliding into the long cut goes the Citroën driver. He's done a lot of sliding at Slinger Speedway. I know he, no pun intended, slings the car around the track as he exits the long cut, as Livingood's upside down, as this is not ending very well for the Canadian, and he gets contact with Eric Webler. So at the end of lap 2, contact everywhere. Cody Erdman is your leader, and we're going to get a replay of that, I am hearing, after this race. So, we're on lap number 3, and Erdman is pulling away from the field. There's Lambert, Webler, and Livingood, and Livingood's driving like he stole the race car. The fastest lap of the race, I believe, is Erdman at the current moment, a 49.557, and that was his long cut lap. So we'll see on lap number 3 what the Citroën driver can do. His last victory was at Valkenswaard in 2013A, and you know he's hungry for a win in this partial season this season. As next season he did announce that he can run to the full season. White flag in the air, it's a 45.731. Lambert second, trying to catch the Citroën. Livingood third, and Webler has gotten out of everyone's way. He is in fourth. So Erdman pretty much unchallenged, and Lambert was furious over the radio as soon as he got hit. But really, there was nowhere for Erdman to go. Like I said, we will get a replay of the start of that wreck and of how strangely Livingood was flipping. As over the jump goes Erdman in car 82, as he's going to lock the brakes up. His teammate does. They're going to lock him up, slide around turns 3 and 4 of the St. Eustache Oval, and out to the front stretch. Heat 1 goes to Cody Erdman in car 82. He wins, followed by the other Red Bull-sponsored team car of Brandon Lambert. So those two will be on the front or the far left side of the grid. Then Livingood, for the first time this season, goes to the LCQ. And here comes Eric Webler in car 49. I don't think he really cares. He's just going to ride the wall, come off the final corner, and cross the line to finish fourth in heat number 1. So let's take a look at what happened first with Lambert, because that was really strange. I thought that was really, really strange to see. Well, actually, we're going to take a look at the start. So first, we're going to take a look at this start, and it was a relatively clean start. Livingood got a jump, and you'd think pole sitter, well, he's going to win the race, yeah. So let's take a look from the helicopter. Here is the start. Webler didn't see the lights, and Livingood was gone, and it was a side-by-side battle between the Volkswagen and the Citroën, and in the second, you can call that the first corner, because that little S section really doesn't count. First corner, it was Livingood, Lambert with Erdman, and then Livingood took the long cut, and Lambert and Erdman did not. And here is, from the helicopter camera, this is ending lap number 1, and Lambert is going to go into the corner, and he's going to lock up the rear slide, and Erdman's got nowhere to go, and bowls right through the 5, and that's the second time this season that has happened. And here's contact between Webler and Livingood, as Livingood just shoved him off the road. I'm surprised there's no penalty for that. That was a bit mean. As now we're going to take a look at how Livingood ended up flipping in the final corner. I don't know if that was an intentional accident or not. Let's try and get it pulled up here. Here is car number 1, the Rockstar Mitsubishi. He locks up the rear, slides, and oh wow, hits a gouge on the wall. It flips the car over, and he backs it up right into Webler. Lambert got through there clean, but that was the incident involving those two drivers. So once again, it's Erdman, Lambert, Livingood, and Webler, your finishing order from the race here, heat number 1 at St. Eustache. So the heat number 2 drivers are out making their way around the track to get ready here. As here we go for heat number 2. As the drivers are making their way around the track, just about ready to get things going. As It's a long grid, yes, but they allow the drivers to take a warm-up lap to get the tires up to temp. So here we go. Here is heat number 2. Here's Doug DeNice. We haven't seen him in a long time. I think it was actually 2013 Germany that he last participated in the NASA Rallycross Challenge. So, Tristan Hagenstein in his Privateer 4, Doug DeNice in his Privateer Subaru, Austin Hakes for the Red Bull Citroën, yes, the Red Bull Citroën World Rallycross team. That's the satellite team to the work squad in car 21, and Tanner Smith, your Privateer points leader. As these 4 drivers will compete, like always, for 4 laps. Top 2 will advance, as it looks like we're getting lined up here and revving them up, getting ready for heat number 2, and it's lights out, away we go. Off the line, looks like Hagenstein got a nice jump in car 27, followed by Hakes. Contact with Hakes and Smith, that shoves Smith off the road, and contact with DeNice. So it's going to put DeNice off the road, and he's already in last anyway, so he didn't have to give up any time. Through the water for the first time, everyone's cleanly through, it looks like, as the officials are going to be monitoring that all race long. As over the jump goes Hagenstein, Hakes, Smith, and here's Doug DeNice. Let's see what they do. To the long cut goes Hagenstein, so this will filter Hakes through to the lead, it looks like. He runs wide, bounces off the wall, no it doesn't! Tanner Smith through to the lead! So at the end of lap 1, he goes from 3rd to 1st, as the 3rd place car in points is in 1st on the road at the end of the 1st lap. So now, Hakes trying to play catch-up with the 13, and he slides! That's exactly what Lambert does! So that's going to push him back to 3rd. So this is going to allow Tanner Smith, he's got a lot of clear track. Hagenstein already took his long cut, though, and he is really, really close to the 13 car. So Tristan Hagenstein is really going fast, as Tanner Smith got wheel hop and pushed the car, almost pushed him off the road. So over the jump goes the 13, leading in the heat, followed by Hagenstein and Hakes. I expect maybe Hakes? No. No, Hakes tries it. Yes, he does. He takes it now in car number 21 for the Red Bull Citroën World Rallycross team, and it looks like he will hold at the end of lap 2 Smith, Hagenstein, and he will hold 3rd spot does Hakes, and DeNice is in 4th. So Tanner Smith 2nd, he is 0.5 of a second slower than Tristan Hagenstein according to timing and scoring. So you might want to speed it up, Tanner Smith, as Tristan Hagenstein's there. So unless Smith can somehow magically gain pace, or Hagenstein barrel roll like he somehow did in Croft, this might be Hagenstein's race, as we are now on lap 3. We will see if Tanner Smith takes the long cut. He's aiming towards it, but he skips it again, as 3rd is Hakes and 4th is DeNice. So this is the battle. We're going to see if Hagenstein can get the lead at the end of lap 3. White flag for Tanner Smith, the privateer, trying to win his heat, as he has won 2 heats this season, as nobody has outright won all 3 of their heats this season. I believe they're actually tied. It's Mertz and Smith, and I do believe Lambert won 2 heats this season. Nobody has won more than 2. As Tanner Smith, that's definitely he's gonna lose, because he has to take the long cut. So this is essentially going to seal the win for Hagenstein, unless Hagenstein pulls a living good and flips in the final corner. So over the jump goes Smith, and he's going to aim towards the long cut, and this should put him through to the 2nd place. He's still going to transfer, but around the final corner, it was close, but Hagenstein steals a win away. He will win Heat 2, followed by Smith. Here comes Hakes. Into the LCQ he goes, along with Doug DeNice in car number 10. So it's going to be Hagenstein, Smith, Hakes, and then Doug DeNice. So a good run for Tristan Hagenstein, and a disappointment for Austin Hakes, as he has to go to the LCQ. As heat number 3 is now up and ready to go. As it looks like everyone getting ready here. And at the line already are the 2 Citroëns. Josh Mertz, 2nd in points after blowing his engine in Charlotte, wants to get redemption here. Then, it doesn't look like everyone's organized, as they're trying to go 4 wide maybe. We will see here in a moment. Yep, Nick Carr's organized incorrectly. No, is he? We'll see. Listening to Race Control, Dylan Livingood's not exactly happy with the way they're organizing here. So we do know that the 81 and the 2 are in their correct spots, And then it is Whitehill in car 95. Then it is Cars in car 35, and Luke Fleming in car 75. So a Works Citroën, a Works Mitsubishi, a Semi-Works Citroën, a Semi-Works Ford, and a Works Subaru. So all three Works teams are in this heat, and Citroën's got a 1-point lead over Carolina, and that's with Erdman having 2 provisionals. So you can tell a championship squad when you see one by leading by a point when their main driver has missed 2 races. So, and they have had a win taken away in Charlotte 1 week ago because of that pile-up with Austin Hakes. So it's Mertz, Wetz, Whitehill, Cars, and the 75 of Luke Fleming. So Heat 3, they're revving them up for 4 laps. It's lights out, away we go, and off the line, let's see who gets it. It's Mertz, as Whitehill budged, and there he's gone. As Wetz got pinched by Whitehill, Fleming filters through the 3rd. It's then Whitehill off the road with Cars. So, pulling away, at least attempting, is the 81, followed by the 2 of Chris Wetz, Luke Fleming, Nick Cars, and Sean Whitehill. That might be a little bit of team orders off the line, because it looked like Whitehill pinched the 2 just a tad. Immediately to the long cut goes the 81. Wetz will not go in it. Fleming does, and so Cars, Wetz, and Whitehill do not. Mertz and Fleming do, but at the end of lap number 1, Chris Wetz, followed by Josh Mertz, and then it's going to be a battle for 3rd with Luke Fleming beating him at the end of lap 1 over Nick Cars and Sean Whitehill. So this is going to be up to Wetz. Wetz, see if he can get it here, as currently the fastest driver, well, those are incorrect times, so never mind. Timing and scoring hasn't updated yet. They're currently reading 2-minute laps. I don't think that's very correct. So Wetz leading on the road, followed by the 81 of Mertz, but he's taken his long cut. Wetz has not. Then it's Fleming, and Cars slides in car 35. He's got to stop and get back going again. As Wetz immediately to the long cut, we're going to see how he filters through in car number 2. Let's see if we can find Mertz in this shot. And there he goes by. So at the end of lap number 2, it's going to be the 81 filtering through to the 2nd position, or the 1st position, followed by Wetz. But it's a nice battle for the transfer spot on lap number 3 now with Wetz and Fleming. So let's see if Wetz and Fleming can get into the final. He made it last week. No, he didn't make it last week, actually. Well, I don't remember. No, he didn't. I actually have the results pulled up right next to me. He did not. As Mertz and Wetz, as these two are battling to the death, trying to make it into the final. Last week, Wetz did not. He didn't even race, so never mind. He didn't make the final, and he did make the final at Valkenswaard. To the long cut, nobody goes up front because Mertz rounding the final corner. White flag in the air for the 81. This is good for him to see as he wants to get on the front row of the grid. He missed it out last week. He's currently fastest by 0.6 of a second over these two that are battling. As let's pull up the times. There you go. Mertz, Fleming, Wetz, Whitehill, and Cars. Those are the lap times currently. As Fleming is battling Wetz to the death for a second, the final transfer spot here at St. Eustache. Onto the gas is Fleming in the middle of the corner. Incredible rear grip with the Subarus as he gives him a little bump, baby. As this battle isn't over yet. There's still the jump and the terrifying final corner. You have to drift that right, otherwise you're dangerously slow. Over the jump they both go. Nice jump. Fleming tries the outside. Will he undercut him into the final corner? Mertz is around as he's going to win heat number 3. And on the outside, Luke Fleming. Will he power onto the 2? He drives to the inside, but he can't get it. As he did not get it. Wetz got it at the line. It was Mertz, Wetz, Fleming. Here comes Nick Cars to finish up in the 4th position. We're going to replay that start because I still want to ponder at the team orders possibility. Cars for 4th, and here comes Whitehill in the 5th position in car 95. Fleming, Cars, and Whitehill go to the LCQ, as let's actually get a replay of that start and see what happened, and if the 95, in fact, pinched the 2 car a little bit. So let's get it up here for you guys, and let's see what happened. So off the line, here we go. Mertz, Wetz, Whitehill. Whitehill throws a block just a tad. Or you can either say that Whitehill threw a little bit of a block, or Wetz held just let off the gas to make sure that nothing would happen. So The following drivers will take part in the LCQ. It's going to be Dylan Livingood and Luke Fleming with Austin Hakes, Denice, Cars, Webler, and Whitehill. I forgot to mention in the opener we have 3 provisionals for today's race: Casey Lester, Dunlap-Pratt, and Keith Sherman. Those 3 drivers are not able to participate, so they asked to be put at the tail end of the field. Lester 14th, LaPrade 15th, Sherman 16th. So all the drivers that raced or provisionals do get points today, as 16 drivers get points in the NASA Rallycross Challenge, as we're getting ready for the LCQ here. And this is a 3-lap brawl, and the top 2 advance. And according to this shot, where Austin Hakes is lining up, that's where the LCQ drivers will line up. The winner where Hakes is, and the second place driver where Denice is. As I was a little bit weird in giving the grid. So Erdman will be where Webler is, Hagenstein where Livingood is, Mertz where Fleming is, and the LCQ drivers are where Hakes and Denice are, and the runners-up from the heats are behind their respective heat winners. So on pole is Webler, Livingood, Fleming, Hakes, then it's Cars, Whitehill, and Denice, as 3 laps will decide this, and the top 2 advance. It's lights out, away we go, and Livingood is gone from the rest of the field as he is trying to pull away with Fleming in second, Hakes in third, contact with Denice, as we're pretty much single file now. Into the dirt for the first time. Livingood, Fleming, Hakes dives it in there. Denice battling with Cars, Webler, and Whitehill. Over the water for the first time. Fleming looked like he was faster there, as Livingood will lead the parade over the jump for the first time of 3 here today in the LCQ. Let's see who goes for the long cut. Livingood does. So does Fleming. So does Hakes. Denice skips it as Cars, Webler goes to it. And Webler nearly plows into the wall, and Whitehill, I believe, skipped it as well. So at the end of lap 1, it's going to be Doug Denice leading, but he is quickly swallowed up by Dylan Livingood. So you could essentially put Livingood in the lead, as Denice has to take his long cut, and he throws it off the road. Let's see if he gives up that position. He's going to slide it wide, but he still holds the lead. Not anymore. Livingood to the lead in car number 1. So that strategy move with Denice, it didn't exactly work. As Denice holding second, Fleming third. The top 3 did take the long cut on the first lap. There's a lap and a half to go here in the LCQ, and we're going to see exactly what happens. Over the jump for the penultimate time goes Livingood, and Fleming. Denice takes the long cut, so he will filter back through the field, as there is Cars taking the long cut as well. So white flag in the air for Dylan Livingood. He is your leader with Fleming, Hakes, Denice, and Whitehill, as Cars and Webler are close behind. Fastest lap currently in this little LCQ race is a 47.2 by Luke Fleming. I hope they realize that the 2 Citroëns are running 45 flat. Yes, when we wrote that article about the Citroëns, we kind of meant it, because the Citroëns are the fastest here. They've been undefeated, so pick your poison. As Livingood leads by a car length and a half over Luke Fleming, it's pretty much not going to be decided unless Fleming can dive it in and hope to make contact with the 1 car. So here we go for the final time in the LCQ. Livingood might have been in an accident, but it doesn't matter as he rounds the final corner, sneaks through in the last chance qualifier. Livingood wins, followed by Fleming, followed by Hakes. Best of the rest, he's furious. Denice is in 4th. 5th will be Cars. 6th will be Eric Webler here in the 49, and 7th will be Sean Whitehill taking the long cut on his final lap, as he will get 13th place points in car number 95. So let's go through the final results from the LCQ. These are the drivers that did not transfer. 9th place points will be awarded to Hakes, 10th Denice, 11th Cars, 12th Webler, 13th Sean Whitehill. So now, these broadcasts go incredibly quickly. That's why our producers love to cover NASA Rallycross. It's cheap to produce, and it's very, very quick to make. On pole, Cody Erdman in car number 82, followed by Hagenstein. The sister Citroën is on the front row, and Livingood through the LCQ. Behind Erdman is Lambert, then it's Tanner Smith, Chris Wetz, and Luke Fleming. We have a Works Citroën, a private Ford, a Works Citroën, a Works Mitsubishi, a Semi-Works Volkswagen, a private Subaru, a Works Mitsubishi, and a Works Subaru. All 5 Works cars that race today are in the race. 2 private cars and 1 Semi-Works car will battle for 8 laps, and you have to take the long cut twice. It's Erdman, Hagenstein, Mertz, Livengood, Lambert, Smith, Wetz, and the 75 of Luke Fleming. Getting ready to go for the final at St. Eustache. We're revving them up. 8 laps, and it's lights out. Away we go. Off the line, Livengood gets a jump. Pinching as the 2 Citroens around is Livengood. Into the wall is Mertz, blocking the track. Red flag. Red flag. That's a red flag. The 2 Citroens pinched Hagenstein, and Mertz clipped Livengood. Mertz ran into the tires. Erdman spun, blocked the track. They all did, and that will call for a race restart. So while they run around the track here, let's see if we could get a replay, maybe. I'm getting word we can't get a replay. Okay. So they're back all around the track here. And the two Citroens pinched Hagenstein. Hagenstein backed out. And then Livengood got turned by Mertz, who then plowed into the tires. Blocked the track. The rulebook states if you block the track or it collects half the field, it's an immediate red flag. Yes, that rule could be played around with here at St. Eustache because there's a lot of grass, but it's still, they don't want to take any chances, tear up any bits of the race car. So here we go. For the first attempt at a restart, it's lights out, away we go. Off the line, Erdman pinches the 27 again. Mertz gets pinched. Livengood gets turned again. And this is another red flag because it was immediately said that as soon as the track gets blocked, a red flag is thrown. As Erdman, it looks like, let's get a replay of that. I know we can get a replay of that. Erdman came off the line and immediately turned left. And here we go. We're going to play it right as the race starts. There's a car width there. And that's plenty of, you're supposed to go straight. You're not supposed to turn left. As he clips the curb, Hagenstein gets into Mertz. Mertz gets into Livengood. They both spin. It blocks the track. And that's an immediate red flag decision from the officials if the track is blocked. So let's get going here for the second attempt at a race restart, and hopefully this will be the last. So already at the line is Erdman with Lambert. Those are your Heat 1 drivers. Erdman for the Citroën Red Bull World RallyCross team, Lambert for the VW Red Bull World Rally team. Then Heat 2 is Tristan Hagenstein and his Team Klondike Private Ford, and then the NOS Energy Rally team of Tanner Smith and his private Subaru. Then the sister Citroën of Josh Mertz and the Revolution racing car Chris Wetz. Then the LCQ drivers are Livengood and Luke Fleming. So we're going to go for 8 laps here at St. Eustache. That's the grid. You don't have to take that. Here we go. It's lights out. Away we go. I don't know what I was saying, but off the line, Livengood goes, and it's going to be Erdman. This is going to be a clean start. Doesn't look like we got to get a restart in. 3 wide, it looks like, almost with Lambert, Erdman, and Mertz, but Livengood out and away as Erdman, tries to take the fight to the Mitsubishi, and it's going to get Mertz through to second place as I hear some radio communications telling Erdman to back off. As now, we're going to go over the jump. Looks like everyone was clean through the water. Over the jump, Livengood, Mertz, Erdman, Lambert, Wetz, Hagenstein, Smith, and Fleming. To the long cut goes Livengood, followed by Lambert, followed by Hagenstein, and the rest of them will take to the regular course. And no surprise, at the end of lap 1, it's Mr. Josh Mertz himself who has won the last 3 races here, leading at the end of lap 1, followed by his teammate. And look at the space they build up to Chris Wetz already. As it's Mertz, Erdman, Wetz, Smith, Livengood, Lambert, Fleming, Hagenstein. That's your running order here at St. Eustache. And the thing that the other teams need to do is damage control, because these 2 drivers, if you look at the point standings, they are the only 2 that consistently score good points when they are running. 2012B, it was a about 20-point gap that they had as they both skip the long cut. Wetz goes to it, so does Smith, so does Lambert. Keep in mind they have to take it twice. Lambert with a mega cut of the long cut. And at the end of lap 2, Mertz leads, followed by his teammate. Livengood has cycled through to the 3rd position. Wetz and Fleming, then Tanner Smith, and Hagenstein, and Lambert as well. As it looks like Mertz is using track limits to his advantage. We're at lap number 2 now. And, lap number 3, excuse me. And he is just wanting to win this race, because if you haven't noticed, in the past 3 races, he's either got wrecked, he's actually gotten wrecked in turn 1 all 3 races, so this is the first clean turn 1, and he had his engine blow at Charlotte. So we're on lap 3, Erdman is in second, and even though the other drivers know, as Living Good takes the shortcut, the other drivers know. Here we go. End of lap number 3. The other start of 4 for the 5th time. The other drivers know that Mertz is not letting Erdmann past. It's team orders at its finest. We're on lap 4 here at St. Eustache. Erdmann with a bad cut in car 82. As look at this chaos with Living Good letting, I believe he cut, so he was letting Hagenstein and Lambert by. As the 2 Citroëns are gone from the rest of the field. They haven't taken the long cuts yet. Wetz has, though. Wide is Tanner Smith. So we'll see here. They all get through the water cleanly. And will the Citroëns? No, they both... No, Erdmann goes through. Erdmann is through on lap number 4. So we're going to come to the end of lap number 4 and start lap number 5. And Mertz now leads by quite a bit of a margin over his teammate. And look at the margin there. That's quite a bit of road. Then it's Wetz, Smith, Lambert, Living Good, Hagenstein, Fleming. So Mertz is consistently trying to pull away, and we're probably going to jinx him because he's leading the race, and we don't exactly want to jinx him. We're on lap 5 of 8 here at St. Eustache, and I believe that article was pointed out to be true, because Mertz is pulling away. His last lap was a 45.7. Erdmann was a 48.5. He goes to the long cut again, as we're going to come to 3 laps to go here at St. Eustache. He drifts out of the final corner. We're on lap number 6 now at St. Eustache. And Mertz ran a 45.5. Erdmann a 47.6. And let's check the laps here. 45.6, 45.4, 45.9, and a 46.1. And that was Lambert. Wetz is a 46.2. As I mentioned in Valkenswaard, we don't get a fancy scoring ticker unless you want to see the laps that the drivers run. There you have it. We're 3 laps to go here, and Mertz hasn't taken his long cuts. There's not much action going on, even up front, as Mertz takes his first long cut. So we're going to see how he filters through. Here he is in car number 81. Let's see if his teammate will round the corner. Oh, he's relatively close. So here we go. It's going to be 2 laps to go. Can Cody Erdmann sneak it from his teammate? 2 to go in St. Eustache. And it's going to be up to Mertz to drive away from the rest of the field. Lambert's in 3rd. Wetz, Living Good, Smith, Hagenstein, Fleming. Mertz into corner number 1. Oh, that's bad. A cut there from Mertz. That should be okay, as everyone else has been doing that. Through the dirt section he goes. There's Erdmann close behind. A little bit of a snap from the 81. Oh, go. Oh, wow. Race control. I'm hearing something about a penalty box. We'll figure that out. Nosing it in is the 81. He will take the long cut again. So we're going to follow lap times here. 49.7 was his last lap in the long cut. Erdmann will take the lead coming to the white flag. So Erdmann cycles through to the lead in car number 82. Mertz at the line at 48.1. And I'm hearing from race control 81 to penalty box. But I don't think the Citroën team has told him that, as they don't want him to punch a wall, perhaps, when he gets out of that car, because 4 consecutive weeks with an issue. As Erdmann now holds the lead, Mertz is going to drive like all he's worth, even though he hasn't heard about the penalty box. And if he stopped at the penalty box, he would be holding the position. As Erdmann will take the jump for the final time. He ran a 45.1. Fastest car on the circuit is Cody Erdmann right now, and it was his last lap. So he's only ran 1 race so far. Make it 2, and provisionally Citroën will get a 1-2 at St. Eustache. Erdmann wins. Mertz has to settle for 2nd, and a battle with Lambert coming around for the 3rd spot, followed by Chris Wetz in 4th. 5th will be Dylan Livengood. 6th is Tristan Hagenstein. 7th will be Tanner Smith in car number 13. And coming around is Luke Fleming in position number 8. So let's see here and see what, getting word that Cody Erdmann is the winner. That is official. But let's see here. So as the anthems play for Erdmann, the anthems do play for Erdmann, so he has won, and I'm hearing from race control that Mertz is being thrown to the back of the field for the cutting of the water, and he did not make a visit to the penalty box. So your winner is Cody Erdman for the Citroën Red Bull World Rallycross team. You hear the German anthem for Erdman in car number 82. It's then followed by Brandon Lambert in car 5. He gets promoted to second. Chris Wetz in third. Livingood gets fourth. Hagenstein fifth. Tanner Fleming seventh, and Mertz gets dropped to eighth from second. So a second consecutive week that something happens out of his control. Austin Higgs is in ninth. Best of the rest in the LCQ. Doug Denice, 10th, 11th in cars, 12th is Eric Webler, 13th is Sean Whitehill as the Austrian anthem plays for the Citroën team, and Casey Lester, Dunlap-Prad, Keith Sherman, 14th through 16th, provisionals, but they do get points. So, let's go through the point standings as of St. Eustache. We're just going to go through the top 10 of drivers. As leading is Dylan Livingood with 62 points, 8 points over Mertz in second. He has 56. Third place is Tanner Smith with 55. He's tied with Lambert with 55. Luke Fleming is fifth with 40. With the win and the fourth place, Erdman's sixth with 34. Seventh is Hagenstein with 32. Eighth is Dunlap-Prad with 30. As Bellamy and Aaron Johnson are 9th and 10th, they did not race today. So the top 10 in points are that. Manufacturers, Citroën has a 3-point lead over Mitsubishi, followed by Subaru with 48. Volkswagen has 44, as this chart is actually unorganized, as someone didn't change it. So let's go through this one. And it's actually 59 for Subaru, 55 for Volkswagen, and 48 for Ford. The Works Constructors Championship, leading by 9 is Citroën over Revolution Racing, and because the only car to run today is the French anthem for Citroën, Carolina Motorsports goes back to third with 75, so it's a tight battle for the Works Constructors Championship. Semi-Works is blown wide open from at least second to sixth. Leading still is Lambert for VW, and with Tanner Smith added, this should seal the championship up for them. They have 55 points over Mangled Lemons Racing 30. Team Webler has 21. The fourth place team, Red Bull Citroën, has 8. And Carolina Motorsports B-Class, neither of those cars shown up, so I'm not sure if they will get demoted. They are 5th with 5, and Whitehill for the Citroën Junior team is in 6th with 5 as well. Privateers, leading is Tanner Smith with 55, but he will not be able to win that Privateers Championship because he's not going to run as of next week. Second place is Tristan Hagenstein. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, Bellamy Johnson, Paul Hakes, Wellborn. As those drivers aren't racing in that car, or they haven't raced at all, those points stay the same. The only change is Doug Denice in 8th place with 7 points, and Tristan Hagenstein moves to 2nd. Final championship, the Nations Cup. The United States leads over 4 points over Germany. That's going to get good because the United States has most of the drivers on the grid. There's 2 Germans on the grid, 2 Canadians, and a Dutch driver. So Germany has 67. They are in 2nd. 3rd is Canada with 62, and 4th is the Netherlands with 32 points. So, that's basically, well, we have to go through ASN social media for one last time. Facebook.com/Automotive Sports Network, Twitter.com/ASNTV_USA, hashtag ASNTVUSA, YouTube.com/ASNTVUSA, Twitch.tv/ASNTVUSA, ASNTV.US, and ASNTVUSA@gmail.com for any broadcast inquiries, comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions. As this broadcast was brought to you by Java Shot Designs, if you need any painting done for any of your racing interests, you can contact Adam Sweet at his page at Facebook.com/Java Shot Designs. So an interesting race that resulted in another Citroën car being penalized. Remember, last week Hakes got thrown to the back because of the wreck that he caused on the opening lap of the final restart. Next week we'll be in Negus, and that was an interesting race in 2012C, which Mertz and Livingood tangled, and it threw Mertz to the back and let Livingood win by a point. And before that was even settled, they even had a doubleheader race that Mertz won by a bumper. So anything is possible at the Canyon, Colorado circuit, and we will be there on ASN On Demand in a week's time. So from all of us here at ASN, we're going to congratulate Cody Erdman and his Citroën team on his victory. We will see you next week in St. Eustache. As I am Josh Mertz, thank you for watching, and so long, everyone.